we are looking at f of x is equal to negative 3 raised to the x. Let's go ahead and figure out what this one is going to look like. So again, we're going to go ahead and start off by plotting some points here. So starting with a 0, if I plug in a 0, I will get a negative 1. If I plug in a negative 1, I should get approximately a negative 1/3. And then if I plug in a positive 1, I should get a negative 3, and so on. So this should be enough to get some sort of general idea of what our graph is going to look like. So 0, negative 1, negative 1, and then negative 1/3. So that should be approximately right here. And then last we have positive 1 all the way down at negative 3. So connecting our lines, we should get some sort of graph that looks like this. Okay, again, our x-axis is going to act as a horizontal asymptote, so we're going to get really close to it but not quite touch it. Additionally, we can go ahead and look at 3 raised to the x minus 2. So what does this 2 tell us? So it's going to tell us something that we've kind of looked at in the past. So this is actually going to tell us that we are going to move to the right 2. So right 2. Okay, so again, let's go ahead and pick some points to figure out what this one is going to look like. So if I start with a 0 here, I'm actually going to get 3 raised to the 0 minus 2, or in other words, in this case, 1/9. If I pick a positive 1, I will get a 1/3. If I pick a 2, again, that's going to be 3 raised to the 2 minus 2, or a 1. And then a last point of 3. If I plug in a 3, I'll get 3 raised to the 3 minus 2, or a positive 3. So let's go ahead and plot these points and figure out what this is going to look like. So our first point of 0 and then 1/9, that's going to be a point approximately right here. A point of 1 and then a positive 1/3 approximately right there. And additionally, we have a 2, 1, and our last point is going to be this 3, 3. So that is going to be all the way up here. So connecting our points, we should get some sort of graph that looks like this. And we should be good to go for that one. So our last part here is going to be C, looking at a combination of different types of translations. So let's go ahead and pick out our pieces of information. So first one, x plus 2, and then finally this minus 2 tacked on to the end. So that x plus 2 is going to tell us that we are actually moving to the left 2, so left 2. And additionally, this negative 2 tells us that we move down 2. So let's go ahead and try to plot some points given this new information here. So if I plug in a 0 is going to get me a 3 raised to the 0 plus 2, or 3 raised to the 2, which is 9, and then minus 2 gives me a 7. Now if I pick a negative 1, this will get me 3 raised to the negative 1 plus 2, or 3 minus 2. So that will get me a positive 1. And then last, if I pick a negative 2, that should get me a 3 raised to the negative 2 plus 2, or 0. So that would give me a 1 minus a 2, or a negative 1. And we should be good to go to figure out what this is going to look like. So our first point here is at 0 and then positive 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a point right there. Then we have a point at negative 1, 1. And last we have a point at negative 2, negative 1. So connecting our dots here, we should get some sort of graph that looks like this. So